Hi everybody. I haven't been on for quite some time. And the reason I haven't been on is because of the way I look. And it was aggravated by a nasty sore on my nose, on the tip of my nose, which firstly I wouldn't cover, and secondly I wasn't supposed to cover. But realistically, what difference does how I looked make to who I am? You know, we look at societal norms. Societal norms says I have to be good looking. But what is the definition of good looking? Well, apparently it's being completely symmetrical. And there are rare individuals who are completely symmetrical. And they are absolutely stunning. Regardless of who looks at them, they are stunning. Regardless of race, nationality, even sex, they are stunning. And that is apparently something to do with symmetry. But for the common or garden Jack or Jill on the street, what makes me less attractive than you? Is it how I look? Is it the color of my teeth? Is it my receding hairline? Is it a giant sore on my nose? What is it? Because I know people who I look at them and I think, gosh, she's no oil painting. But that person exudes a confidence that makes them beautiful. It makes them beautiful. Sorry, helicopter going over. Then you have people who are absolutely stunning. Perfect symmetry. And they think they are ugly. They have zero self-confidence. They have no belief that anyone would look at them and think, wow. And in fact, if you compliment that person, they'll fob it off or deny it or turn away in shame because somebody noticed them. But what societal norm are we following? What makes anyone more attractive than anyone else? Is it the way we look? Because I know that I look at people and I don't see their flaws. I see someone who has ABC characteristics, and I'm not referring to physical. I actually have to double check to look and see the physical attributes of a person, because who they are shows me more than what they look like. And yet the makeup and fashion industries are thriving. They thrive because people are trying to achieve some norm of beauty. But what is the standard? Is it flawless skin? Well, maybe. But what makes skin flawless? If I were to put solid foundation and pancake it on my face, would that make me more attractive? No. I would have to add blusher I would have to add lipstick, I would have to add eyeliner, eye makeup, etc., 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 in order to allow my natural facial features to show through. And yes, you can sculpt your natural features. You can make yourself look thinner or fatter, or highlight your cheekbones so that they stand out more, or put a dab of something on your nose so that it looks, I don't know, different size or whatever. I mean, these cosmetic gurus are quite fascinating when you watch what they can do. But what norm are we setting? And why should I? Why should I put gunk all over my face so that somebody can say you're acceptable? Why do I have to be someone who I'm not in order to be accepted? And it's a huge question, because people do frown upon people who don't wear makeup. And people frown upon people who wear too much makeup. You know, it's ironic, because a man will look at a woman with no makeup and look away. The same woman with pancake makeup, he'll look at and smirk and say, oh, you know, scrape some of that paint off your face. The same woman with a lighter application of makeup, he may find beautiful. But at the end of the day, it's the same person. It's the same person. It's the same face. It just has something different on it. So why are we so scared to show our faces? Where does it come from? And I know not everybody is. I know a lot of people think they are absolutely stunning. I know a lot of people believe there is nothing wrong with their face. I'm not one of them. I have always had some form of issue with the way I look. My hair, I've covered my hair previously. My hair is a huge palaver. My body, the shape of my body, and I look back in retrospect and there was absolutely nothing wrong with the shape of my body. There was nothing wrong with my face. Maybe now that I see my face in an older version, a much older version, I see my face differently. But I'm still the same person. Well, technically I'm not. Excuse me. Technically I'm a completely different person, because every day, every moment, something changes, either physically, mentally, or emotionally. Bits and pieces of me change constantly, constantly. And it can be something as simple as a hair falling out, or a hair growing a millimeter longer. But every day I change, inside and out. But inherently, I am still a 12-year-old kid. Please don't ask me to run a marathon. When I was 12, yes, sure. Now, running a marathon, you find me on a running trail, I was chased. You find me dumped somewhere on a hiking trail, I was murdered and taken there. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, an oil painting. Well, maybe one of the Renaissance oil paintings with the big, ugly-looking woman. Maybe those. And yet, I don't know what I look like to you. I can never know what I look like to you, because I cannot see myself. I can see a reflection of myself. I can see myself in a camera. I can see myself reflected in a mirror or in a window. I can never look at my face the way anybody else can. As in never. Because obviously my eyes don't go there. So what measure am I judging myself on? I can't see what you see. I can only see what I see. You know, when I had this nasty thing on my nose, my friend turned around and said to me, "It doesn't look that bad." Says, "It looks really sore, but it doesn't look that bad." To me, it was hideous. It was absolutely and utterly hideous. And I conducted a science experiment by jizz. And it involved seeing how different people react to an obvious nasty on someone's face. And it was nasty. Take a carpet burn and magnify that by 100. On the tip of the nose, you can't hide it. And it was scabby and it was ugly. But his assessment of it was, it's not that bad, but it looks sore. And it was sore. It felt like a million needles stabbing me in the nose continually from the inside. From the outside, I couldn't feel it at all. So how was he seeing me? Because every time I looked at myself, I felt revolting. And how are other people seeing me? So I did this little experiment. And it was almost, I suppose it was a science experiment. It was almost a social science experiment. Because I wanted to see what I felt depending on how external people reacted. And the worst I felt was when somebody looked and quickly looked away. Quickly, can't look. That made me feel hideous. People who looked and pretended they couldn't see anything and just carried on as if it's just another face. They left me curious because I know for me, I want to know what it is. I'm nosy. I'm nosy, sue me. I want to know what on earth it is that's growing on your face. What's wrong? What happened? Are you okay? Will it get better? And then I had the people who said to me, "What's that?" And oddly, yes, it was appreciated, but no, I wasn't looking for sympathy. So when they expressed sympathy and did the whole, "Oh, woe is you" routine, that annoyed me. Because, hell's bells, it was something on my face that was being treated, and I'm waiting to see what it's going to do at the end of the day. What is it going to look like? Am I going to end up losing my nose? Well, probably not. Will it eat my nose away? Well, probably not. But let's see what the treatment does. And will the treatment be successful? But I wasn't looking for sympathy. I wasn't looking for sympathy. I didn't mind an inquiry as to, gosh, what is that? And then I tell you and you say, wow, that looks sore. That I could cope with. But, oh no, I'm so sorry, that's dreadful. It must be awful for you. Gosh, that's absolutely hideous. that hurt me only marginally less than the people who looked and quickly looked away. But the people who just carry on as if there's absolutely nothing wrong fascinated me. It really did. It fascinated me because it shows me that either they're oblivious or they don't care, or hell, there's something on your face, whatever, I'm sure you're dealing with it. Or I don't know you well enough to ask. And it was funny because I had to do a few flea markets during the treatment phase, and it got ugly. And my friend would tell people that it was rough romping games, or that I tripped over one of the cats and landed on the carpet. Because he didn't want the energy around it to be concern and sympathy. He wanted it to be more amusing and take the weight off how I was feeling. And yeah, part of it is quite correct. Take the weight off how I was feeling. Because I felt ugly. After 5 weeks of this, I had had enough. It came to the point where I was so uncomfortable, I wanted to go out with a paper bag over my head because I became more and more and more self-conscious of it. And yet, the vast majority of people didn't even acknowledge that there was something wrong. They just carried on as if I looked perfectly normal. So, what is it that makes us see ourselves as unacceptable, as not good enough, as no oil painting? Unless, of course, it's the old Renaissance oil paintings, but even those women were actually pretty beautiful. What are we measuring ourselves on? In terms of aging, I think I'm aging pretty well, considering my lifestyle choices, some of my particularly bad habits. But what am I measured against? Am I measured against somebody who has played tennis in the searing heat and sun every day for 50 years? Am I measured against a surfer who's been surfing for 30 years? Am I measured against a person who has never left the inside of a building? Am I measured against a 20-year-old? Because, hell, I can't compete with a 20-year-old. In fact, I don't want to compete with a 20-year-old. I don't want to. If I think back to how self-conscious and insecure I was at 20, I don't want to be 20 again. I mean, sure, in a lot of other aspects, but from a physical strength perspective. But I don't want to be 20 again. I would rather look the way I am, even though my brain thinks I'm 12. Because I don't think my brain will ever grow up. I think my brain is perpetually stuck in a loop of, I've got forever. And maybe one day I'll wake up and think, oh, look, I've been doing this on my own for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. But in the meantime, I need to live with the way I look. I'm not about to go and get surgery. I'm not about to destroy what I do have by a potentially botched surgery. We've all seen how those go. We've all seen what can happen to people. I'm not going to rush off and get Botox injected into me, although it wouldn't be bad. But why would I change how I look? And who would I be measuring myself against? Whose standard would I be meeting? Is it my own? Is it a standard of how I perceive I should look? And yet I don't even know how I should look. I don't know what would make me look acceptable to me. Would I be recognizable to me as acceptable? Because at the end of the day, how I look is a reflection of who I am. And with another face, am I somebody different? No, I'm still me. I'm still me. I'm still the mind and heart of me. My physical appearance would be different, but would I accept myself as I am after I have changed myself? Or would I continually go for more and more and more improvements, changes, amendments to meet some standard set by I don't know who? And what would I achieve? What would I achieve? Anyway, that's my thought for today, and that's why I haven't been around for such a long while. I'm hoping to come back more frequently and do more of these, because strangely enough, I kind of missed it. Even though it entails me looking at myself on my phone while I'm speaking, which for the first couple of months of me trying to do this was particularly hard. Yeah. So when you look in your mirror, what do you see? Who do you see? And what makes you unacceptable to yourself? Is it something somebody said to you? Is it something somebody said to you? Did some little bully turn around and tell you you were ugly when you were young? Did some nasty man walk past you and comment to his friend, "Oh, look how revolting that is," and you happen to overhear? Who said what to you to make you believe you aren't good enough? Anyway, have a great day now.